everybody. I've got my top 5 unpolished gems ready to go. What I mean by unpolished gems is games that maybe don't cut it when it comes to graphic design or components. People have really critiqued these games because of their appearance or because of their quality. And I think that they might have a point, but these games are great, and people are letting the looks and the appearance of these games to get in the way. No more! These games shall be loved by you after you've heard my list. So, starting my top 5 unpolished gems is a game that almost didn't make my list. Homesteaders! Homesteaders just came out with its 10th anniversary edition that is way too good now. It's so nice. These pieces, the chits, the cardboard, the wooden cows, the heaviest metal for money and victory points. The very first version of this game had major problems with the components. The cardboard and the pieces kind of warped and deteriorated rather quickly, and the game itself was just a little scrappy. But the game is so good now that hopefully it will get on people's table. This game has a great balance of placing your workers in your existing and purchased buildings that everyone is vying for, getting money and victory points and building railroad track. And then there's a second phase that includes bidding for those tiles that I just mentioned. And in that round, everybody's trying to one-up the next person. They're saying, no, I'll pay $4 for that. I'll pay $5. And it goes, every time someone bids above you, your guy gets knocked off, and then you get to bid again in your turn order. And one person at the end just finally has to drop out, and they get the consolation prize. They do not get a tile that round, which means that these tiles are rare commodities, and you really need these tiles. So there's this balance of, how am I using this income that I get at the beginning of the round? Is it to purchase that tile? Is it to invest here? Is it to do this? Do I know this round? Yep, I'm taking the consolation prize. One thing I would like to point out is that you need a lot of bowls. So if you want to get a lot of bowls for this game, all the components, there's so many bowls needed for this game. Other than that, other than taking up a lot of table space, this game is great. Definitely give it a try. Battleline! Yes, this game! You might know it as the reskinned version, Shot and Totten. Meh. Battleline, that's where it's at. This game looks old, and I like that. I love it. When I saw the new fantasy version, I thought it doesn't have the same feel. When I look at the elephant cards and the javelineer cards, and I play with those little red wooden tokens. Yeah, this game has a really scrappy look to it, but it's a great push and pull that's not your obvious push and pull. It is a 2-player game where players are trying to defeat the other player in a column that is directly from one player to the next. There are 9 where you can place up to 3 cards, and you are trying to get essentially colors or runs or sets of numbers to beat the other player on the other side, because there are 2 different ways you can win the game. You win by 3 in a row or 5 anywhere along the 9 different columns you could pick from. This game is fast. You play a card in one of your rows, and then you draw a card, and it's the next player's turn. Once someone clearly wins that row, you move the token over. We know, whoop, I've got that row, you gotta go for something else. It's fun, it's fast, it's quick. They have tactics cards, and I would say, don't play with those. We made a house rule because tactics usually mess up that great balance of strategy and a little bit of luck with the card draw. So if you'd like to try the tactics cards, great. Just know the game does not need them for it to be really good. Kaigan! Kaigan! You probably don't even know this game exists. Kaigan! Have you heard of it? It's great. You are mapping the coast of Japan, but the best part about this game is that there are 2 phases to each round. The first phase is probably the coolest. Everyone has the same action cards, and in turn order, you place those action cards down on the main board that's going to give every player all of those cards in that row and initiative order. So you play them down wherever you want, building the row that you would like to take, but you may not get a chance to take it because somebody else might take it in front of you, which means you gotta hedge your bets sometimes and figure out another row that you could possibly take that might be equally as advantageous to you. As once you finish that action row, you then are going to place these surveyors and these ownership markers out onto these tiles that show up on this map. And this might be one of the reasons why it's in my list of unpolished gems. This is actually a component in the game. It is a poster board, but it's actually one of your maps. This could easily have been made into a cardboard board, just like the other board, and it wasn't. And I don't know why. I think that it would serve the game much better if it were a board. But you place your dudes out here. This game, for 3 to 4 players, is a real juicy game. You are at each other's throats, but in an okay way. There's this competition with influence markers at the bottom of the action card board. There's competition with who gets to go first. There's competition at the map. Whenever you finish a tile and you have the majority of ownership there, you get an extra bonus. It's a clever game, it is a strategy game, and it's one that most people wouldn't pull off the shelf. Long Shot! Oh my gosh. Long Shot is a racing game. I love racing games, but I keep coming back to Long Shot because Long Shot feels like a real race around the track. You literally have horses, right? These little guys. And there are 10 horses and they run around the track. It's just fun. Your turn is fast. On your turn, you roll the dice and that moves one of the horses and potentially, as the active player, moves more of my horses if I have that number on their horse card. So multiple horses might move in one turn. I can play cards like jam on it and choose 2 horses and advance both horses 1 space each. Play the card, draw a new card, end of my turn. It's so fast. You can buy horses, you can bet on horses, you can roll the dice in these great gambling cards. This game is fun. Here's some more cards. Lucky number. Ooh, when that number, whatever is listed there, is rolled on your turn, somebody else's turn, you throw the card down and you say, lucky number 9! And you get that $5. It's $5. That's all you get. But it's so much fun. She'll be coming round the mountain. Shifty Sam, roll of quarters, horsey bank. Hey, Joey, got any money left? If you embrace the theme and you say the name of your card every time you play it, you'll get into the spirit and you'll have a load of fun. This game is clever because it's so fast, and the way every horse moves and advances is really clever and efficient. You're gonna have a great time with this game. It's a little scrappy when it comes to the paper money, and the horses and their stickers don't really stick, and every horse looks just like the same horse. But the game inside of this, top notch. Ethnos! Ethnos, look at the carnage. You kind of fight each other, but it doesn't feel like this. It doesn't even look like this. And I think that's why Ethnos is the top of my list. The pieces and the artwork on the map leaves a lot to the imagination. I think I've actually heard people describe the map and the colors that were used as ugly. I take offense to that. I think maybe it needs a little bit more love, but don't call it ugly. And this game has the fastest round. You draw a card, and that's your turn. You just draw a card. And it could be from the face-up market area, it could be from top of the deck. Draw a card, go. Now you're going to keep drawing cards until you actually want to play a group of cards. It could be based on all of them being the same color, or based on them being of one particular race. Now in the very beginning of the game, you use this randomizer deck and you pick an amount of races to play with. You've got dwarfs, wizards, halflings, elf, giant, centaur, wingfolk, merfolk, skeleton, minotaur, orc, and troll. Each one of them plays by their own set of rules, and the combinations of these particular cards together creates such a fun and exciting and new, every time you play, game. Even though the map stays the same, you have 6 different colors and 6 different areas that you're trying to gain area control. You want the majority of your tokens. You are playing these groups of cards in order to get those locations on the map. And at the end of the round, once you've seen the 3rd dragon card in that deck, you've depleted the entire deck essentially. You end, you have a scoring phase, which is phase 1, and then you play 2 more rounds in a 4-player game. You also get to score the groups of the cards that you get. For every 2, 3, 4, 5, or 6 grouping, you get an amount of victory points. This game is clever, it's fun, it needs a little love, graphic design-wise, but I love it. I love it because of the factions, the races. They have such unique abilities, and no matter what the combination, they work together so well. This game is great. You should have Ethnos on your table at least once a month. These are my top 5s, and I make these lists because I think they're just games out there that need to be played. I think they need to be loved, and I think they need to be appreciated. So thanks again for watching, and please don't forget to click like and subscribe. Thank you. I'll see you next time.